As a designer, you need to be creative, outspoken, and inclusive. This is the character of the entrepreneur we're meeting today, who's going to help us decode the business of fashion. If you are into fashion and its trends and have got a limited understanding of the business behind, you want to watch this episode. Stay with us. Guys, can we start?
Oh,
we started.
Oh, have we started?
No.
Jesus, no.
I don't think that's where we haven't started.
We haven't, no? Mm-hmm. All right. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Khoola Biz Lounge podcast. My name is Bongani Mzobe, your host for that platform that decodes entrepreneurship and helps you in your journey as you chase your bag. We don't know what your bag is. You know what your bag is, but there's a formula to how you get it right. And we're here to do that for you. I'm with my co-host once again, Mr. Nick. How are you, sir?
Oh, good, man.
Yeah.
Hello to the viewers. Here we are again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like we are really going with this, and we're getting the right feedback. And people are getting more and more inspired to go into this entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And we want to include everybody.
Yeah.
And make people realize that idea they have could be their turning point in their lives.
Yeah.
So today that's what we want to add on to that basket again. You know, what more can we do? And today we look at fashion, and what better place to look at than the Sober Design House.
Yeah.
Hello, Tshepo.
Hello, Nick.
How are you doing, Tshepo?
I'm fine, and you, Bongani?
No, we're good, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So lovely to have you with us today. And I must say, you know, when I walked in here today, I was wowed with the designs that I see around me today, the quality of the products that I see. And I walked into your production space with people, you know, I'm seeing them, you know, cutting, sewing, doing all these things that I don't understand. I even asked the lady there, what is this thing? Because I just saw a lot of brown paper cut in different shapes. So inspiring that, you know, we have a business in this country that looks at the actual business of fashion, and with importance to owning the value chain, right from concept to the shelf. Guys, our guest today is Tshepo Shirhen Mafokwane, founding director of Sober Design House, one of the exclusive fashion brands that we have in this country. She's been around for the last 16 years, and I'm told that she's also retailing in over 16 boutiques in the country at the moment. So you're definitely one of those people who believe that you can have anything in life if you dress for it.
Dressed and sober, yeah.
Kitchen.
No, that's a nice one. I've actually never heard anybody say that before.
Is it?
Yeah, very interesting take. You know, at the end of the day, you took me back to I think our orientation when we started fashion.
Yes.
Our head of department at that time mentioned something that rings a bell in my ear all the time about Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Maslow's.
And he said, you guys will never ever be jobless, because when you wake up in the morning, or you have somewhere to go, the first thing is, what am I going to wear?
What are you going to
and
wear?
You're talking to me. It's me every day.
Talking sober.
Clothing in general, you know.
Yes,
It's a huge industry, and I'm so glad I chose it.
Yeah. I read on your website, and you write that sober was my freedom, and I wanted to share the experience. It has been everything worth fighting for. And I underline those words, everything worth fighting for. Such a loaded statement. What does it mean to you?
It is packed. It's so deep. Oh my goodness.
Very deep.
It is loaded. When I express, when I talk about sober, or when I do what I do for sober, you know, when I'm designing, I think that's for me the ultimate freedom. I'm doing exactly what I love, in my own space, in my own time, how I like it. I mean, come on, shouldn't that ring as freedom in your head? Isn't that freedom? Imagine
It
if you got
is.
to do.
And I'm sure it's worth fighting for.
It
right?
is worth fighting for, you know, because I think as creatives, we all have our struggles.
We do.
You know,
we
and
do.
one thing I can tell you about this journey, I've realized that there's constant need for more freedom, you know, in terms of the career choices that we make, in terms of how we do things, in terms of, you know, even choices you make every day to keep this place operational.
Yes.
To have the freedom to do what I like and decide, like, for instance, today, guys, I'm not even supposed to be at work. Because I'm so free, I can decide I'm not going to work today.
Thank you, freedom.
Freedom is coming. And you know what, look, as you express yourself, and there's a lot that you're unpacking in terms of freedom and having to fight to get that freedom, that tells me that at some point you decided that I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Right? And where was Tshepo before sober?
Before sober, Tshepo was a people pleaser.
Oh.
She literally gave a toot about anybody. You know, she was somebody who didn't have an outlet for creativity. Her autonomy was stunted, you know, for you know, common reasons, like, you know, being in a corporate space and you feel like certain decision making you don't get to do, and you know, I felt very limited. And when I say people pleaser, I mean even in terms of what I did, you know, before sober. That was the girl who made sure, tell me, oh, you're going to make me a dress. It must be like this and like that and like that. And then you do exactly what they want. So that's where the freedom. When I broke free and I decided I don't want to make clothes I don't like anymore. And it's a very difficult choice to make because I want that money, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
I need that bag.
That bag, yes.
But I'm going to say no because you're going to make me make something I'm going to hate. So that was me being sober. You know, the brand, that's, you know, a lot of people like thinking sober, alcohol, no. There's a lot of things that afford you sobriety, you know, where you're not stuck in a rat race. You know, you're no longer addicted to people just clapping, oh, Chame, it's so nice, even if it doesn't really speak of you or your craft. So
They can be real.
Yeah, it was like very sobering where I had to just decide I won't take these people's money anymore. Because we take their money, it comes with what? Instructions. Call me in the middle of the night.
Oh, yes.
You know, now all of a sudden...
Are we ready?
Yeah. Did Mangwan come? Can I come now? Can I... What? You know?
Yeah.
I was in a very completely different place back then. And choosing sober was a new future for me. And it translated to every other arena in my life. You know, it's like really being detoxed.
But in terms of business, I'm sure it gave you the, you know, true freedom to really put on the shelf what you like, what you feel good, where even when you wear it, you know, apart from someone else wearing it, but when you wear it, it's something that you would feel good
Yes. I think that's that comes with the package, you know. Luckily, I'm a lady, so I'm making ladies wear. I know exactly what ladies want to look like. Because obviously it starts with me. Initially, when I started the brand, yes, everything, and you'll be surprised if you see the samples. I was tiny. I was really, really small.
Okay.
And, you know, I try things on, and, you know, it's like playing dress up.
Playing dress up, yes.
You know, every girl likes to play dress up.
You built a good tree house. Yeah.
A very good closet. My place is
And walk
all
around.
closet.
Yeah.
You know, so I enjoy what I do.
Yeah. And you've never felt the pressure to design what maybe, you know, seems to appeal to the market?
I do it, but I do it my way. You know,
Wow.
when I like describing Soba, our aesthetic is, yes, we are classic, but we are not trend followers, we are trendsetters. We create our own trends. I think that is the mission of anybody who calls themselves a designer. If we were all followers, then...
Why are you designing in the first place?
You know, why don't I just go shopping?
You know?
Why don't I just go shopping and forget about
Because
it?
design is about creating.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, there's common trends that obviously we're going to look into. I mean, I've done trend analysis before. I can see what's happening. But I feel that Soba itself is a trend. It's a style of dressing that is very distinct. That, you know, people like saying, I saw this other girl. I could tell she was wearing Soba. And I'm like, how do you know? Did you check? It's like, no, I could just tell.
Yeah, it was that thing.
It was that thing.
Because
And
they've experienced
it
it
used to bore
before.
me before, hearing people say that, because I'm like, am I that predictable? You know, but I learned to appreciate that with time, that, you know, being distinct is a good thing.
Yeah, I would say it's a great thing. And 16 years on, doing this every single day. And now you're in over 16 boutiques. You clearly have a very defined target market.
Yes, I think we do. You know, I believe so, because I've met my customer before. I've met the sober girl. And funny enough, every lady who appreciates our brand, I swear, we could go out for drinks now and chill. And, you know, like we click.
So
it
can go beyond the item, you know, sold to them.
It gets to a point where my customers really believe they're my friends.
So you're building a society.
Okay. It's a society. But these are ladies that I appreciate their company, their intellect, their influence in my life. I believe in this girl, and she's very much like me. So I'm very lucky to be of service to her. Very easy to do.
Yeah.
So this society that you guys are part of, which you have an influence in, because I mean, you're mentioning that they have the intellect, you have the product, and so forth. And in you building Sober, was it only a matter of you putting in the work or the sacrifice thereof, or was there an even larger support system that played a hand to build this design house what it is today?
Both. I had a very good, I had an awesome support system. You know, my mother, I think anybody who knows about Soba should know that my mother is behind all of this. She still is, even though she's late. Very good support system, you know. I mean, I never had to go to the bank. I never had to look for funding and stuff. I wish I did sometimes. You know, the more the merrier. But definitely, I come from a very huge support background. My grandmother used to be a dressmaker. So even though she wasn't hugely supportive, she was scared. Because she was like, do you know how much work it is? I'm like, dude, I'm not going to sew like you. I'm going to find people to sew, and I'll pay them. You know, so support structure, I couldn't have asked for anything better. I still have my dad, who is amazing. He loves this business to death. And obviously, that's one of the things I carry. And I think that's one of the things that have made me carry on. That support structure, because I'm thinking, and I say, nah, what's my dad is going to die, you know. Sometimes I wonder if I really should be doing this. Like, am I doing it for me, or am I scared to get into trouble? So you mentioned support structure.
Yeah.
Definitely, that I've always had. I mean, I have alumni. I'm part of the TUT alumni. Great support structure. I have colleagues. I mean, it's a huge industry. Yeah, so it's very advantageous in terms of offering support.
Okay. And whilst we're on that, look, I mean, you mentioned the part of the freedom and everything else and building Sober and all those things. But prior to having Sober, I feel that it has been a long-time dream of yours to actually have something that's yours. But you had to go through being someone else's employee,
True.
you know, all of those things. And the way you project it, it sounds to me as if whilst Sober was a concept in your head, it was your own escapism.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, it was.
And you found comfort in that.
Yes.
But the risk as well of that constant paycheck was also an issue.
Ooh, child. That was hard. But there was a time I was really, I don't know, maybe I was young and energetic. I was trying to do both at one stage. You know, I would literally be sewing in the night, working during the day, coming back, sewing through the night. And eventually there comes a time when you have to make a choice.
Make a choice.
You know, and I'm glad that by leaving corporate, as much as I don't regret ever being there, what I learned there was huge. It's probably exactly what propelled me to want this more, because my learnings, the teachings, all the resources that I was given in that job post allowed me to figure this out better. I think had I done it sooner, I would have failed. You know, and I'm glad that my leaving there, I left with something. And I would recommend that for anybody. Always start with a job. I think also people forget that being a designer doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a brand. You have somebody like Tom Ford. He worked for Louis Vuitton or Versace or Givenchy. But being part of being a designer also means having a skill set to be able to create, basically unpack any genre or whatever, or any theme, any style. It doesn't have to be yours.
Yes, true.
Do you understand?
True.
The designers that work for Givenchy probably don't even wear Givenchy.
True.
You know? But then the skill set is there. And this is something that we get even in training as a designer at school. They will give us a theme and say, okay, we need 50 dresses that encapsulate this era or this theme. It could be grunge, it could be rock, it could be, punk, it can be classy, tea party kind of stuff. Not everything that is handed to you as a designer, when you're trying to harness this skill set, has to speak of you. You know, you can labor and work for a design house and do the job very, very well, and still break off and go create your own aesthetic. You know, so that's where people get it wrong, where they think the only way to show that you're a designer is to have a brand and a studio or whatever.
And I completely agree with you, because I mean, if I'm able to be a designer within your stable, I can afford mistakes.
Yes.
I can afford a bad design. I can afford wrong stitches and all those things. Critique as well. But the problem is that if I then venture into it on set as and when I felt like it, I stand to lose quite more than to gain, because there's nobody that's saying that's wrong, because my motivation is centered around me. You know, so it makes a world of a difference what you're saying when you say that people can, and it's advisable to, even if you don't have to work there, but find a way to be part of that.
Yes.
And then you can be able to have how could I say, you can have some wealth of knowledge before you even go into it alone.
Yes.
You know, so now on your part, what are the challenges that you feel that you had to overcome personally? Yes, the support system was there, right? But you can have the greatest support system, but at the end of the day, the texture of your skin, how thick it is.
There are things that your
know?
support system might not get you through, that you have to get through on your own. I think for me, in my first 4 years was the first time I discovered that I'm an employer.
Oh, you didn't know?
No. I thought we're just vibing, we're making nice clothes, these guys are so nice, here's your money. But then you start realizing the depth of this industry, that wait, I'm actually responsible for this person in such a way. I must support them in such a way. There are the laws that be, there's labor law. How I found that out was when somebody took me to the unions and said, I fired him. And I'm like, no, I didn't, you quit. And then...
Wake-up call right there.
Wake-up call, like, oops, how do I prove that?
How do you prove they quit?
Yes, I don't have the HR or whatever, you know, like, I get an elephant.
You're just vibing, yes.
Futek, via, you know.
Yeah.
Kante, you know, now I know as an employer that there's protocol, there's procedures. He was supposed to give me a resignation later. I was supposed to do this, I was supposed to do that. And that's when I realized, okay, this is boring now. These guys are really serious.
They're taking away my passion.
Days, I wake up and I'm like, I'm sitting and just the guys I was playing. Let's stop. When I more guys, let's go home. Because that's when you stop. Yeah, like that's the times where you just feel like this is so hard. Challenges. You can imagine financially, you know, where you're trying to keep this up. And you have to keep upping your game. And the more you up your game, the more your costs come up. You know, now learning how to take care of an employee correctly, aspects, and, you know, all aspects for them to be loyal enough to say, I'm going to work and I'm going to love what I'm going to do. Being that responsible person, held responsible for them, you know, that was a life-changing moment for me, and I struggled a bit because I started feeling alone. You know, I started feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm the boss. I really am their boss.
And it's lonely upstairs.
It's lonely upstairs because they don't think like you. No. They don't care if... It's again, I want to the bona, it's payday, 1 hour money, and that can throw you into a corner where you're just alone and you don't even know how to look at him. I don't have his money.
I mean, Tshepo, for me, you know, when I've always looked at people who ventured into your business, I've just thought, you know, these guys will get rich very quickly. They're well on their way to overnight stardom, and I'm probably going to see them on fashion, you know, shows and big stages. But is it the actual reality as you're starting, as you're building it up, and as you go into it? You know, is it really the route that it takes?
You know, I'm so glad you're asking that question, and it's one of the things that used to grieve me a lot about our industry. It's this glamour around it. Yes, it is very glamorous. I know it is glamorous. What you see there at Fashion Week, when those models walk down and 10 minutes later you're clapping, that's as glamorous as it gets. The rest...
Yeah, boy.
It's grind.
I mean, you saw that side. Does it look like...
No, that's proper grind. That's proper grind.
It's not the chocolate factory.
From the
doesn't look like this closet here.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is where I tried to at least, okay.
Let me tell you, when we walked in, so the guy was knocking to try to help us get in. And I thought I'll just walk into a nice reception. And dude, you walk in, it's grind. It's just there.
It's the guts.
People are just working.
But that's what I like to expose about our industry.
Yes.
That's why I'm even into mentoring young designers and doing work-integrated learning. Is because I don't, before they get all starry-eyed and stargazed and thinking, you know, come and see what it really is. You know, we're not baking cakes. It doesn't smell nice. You know, sometimes it can be a little bit of a mess. But let's just break it down. This is a studio. I try and make that very clear to a lot of customers who come here because Yes, you're right. A lot of them do expect nice couches and whatever.
We're not about that here.
We're not about that here. Here we are really making your dress.
Yeah.
You see this dress? We're stitching it.
Got it faming.
Get it for me. So I try to create this little space at least where it's away from. Look, in my past studio, it wasn't always like this. This would have come first and then they'd be working in the back. I wish the door was that way. I really wish. But hey, we don't make these buildings. So, no, it's not all glam, and it is really, really tough.
Yeah.
It's really, really expensive to have an ongoing business. I tell my friends, I say, you know, every time I wake up in the morning, it's like somebody just swiped my card. The moment you open your eyes, the fact that this lady is here, the fact that these doors have to open, that's money out of the account already.
Every second.
Every second.
Every
Whether
second.
I'm here or not, money is coming out of my account because Tandi needs to get paid, Tamaga needs to get paid, machinists need to get paid, landlord wants
They
his
need a
money,
pencil.
electricity, you know, so I don't have to lift a finger to spend money, and it's a very daunting thing. It's a very scary thing because, like I said, I can't just wake up and say, "Ish, guys, not today, ne?" Yeah, no, ish.
Today don't work.
I'll call you next week. Maybe, you know, I know that's how some designers do it, you know, where it's like they'll have a small part-time staff, you know, where when it's peak season or they've got orders, you know, basically, but when you're doing it full-time and you have full-time staff, work staff, you know, it's scary because literally you can deplete your bank account just doing nothing. You know, if I'm not hustling up the next deal, I need to know who am I delivering to this week, how much output do I need, how much, you know, people think it's just fabric. No, there's lining, there's zips, there's threads, there's all sorts of things. So,
and I must say, it takes a lot to get all those different things
together
to just work in, you know, perfect flow to give you this what we see today. Because everyone else who's involved in the business, they don't know some of the things that you know. They don't get to see some of the things that you get to see. As an entrepreneur, you guys are both right. It's very lonely at the top.
it is very lonely.
It's tough.
And I find that what you spoke about earlier, you having to work in corporate, be an employee for someone else, gives you that opportunity.
Yes, it does.
To get a real view of what the business is about.
Yes.
Without the glam, the lights, you know, the action, and just to understand what you're getting yourself into.
Yes.
And I guess that for you has created a solid foundation, which is, you know, I'm sure is the reason you're still so strong 16 years on.
It's true. It's true. It's like, you know, you were saying before, the journey was not as easy. But yeah, every day I find a reason. I say to my friends, I say, do you know, every day I experience a miracle. Every single day. Especially when I'm here.
Yeah.
Miracles happen here. They happen. Where 1 minute we can't deliver, next minute we do.
Yeah.
I tell my staff, every day,
And you don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
At the end of when you've done it, you start asking each other, how did we do it?
How did we get here?
How did you get?
Ka 8 ritse a e kgonang.
Yes.
Hey man, ke o kgoro tlhoka
5 minutes. But, you know, it's those moments that spur me on, and I like to believe what I do, because it's a genuine gift.
Yeah.
I feel like it's me tapping into a frequency that unlocks superpowers from myself and the powers that be.
Yes.
You know, like, I think anything I ask in this business's name, God just says, man.
There you go.
There you go. Okay. I think if I was doing something else, God would be like, oh.
Kgale ke tse itswada.
Yeah.
Tse o batlang.
Emanyana re tla o bona,
Emanyana, next week, man. Hey, you know?
It was
But-
office.
But here is my domain, and it's a direct frequency where I can ask,
And I guess all those things really build it up to be the standout brand that it is.
Yes.
I've been, okay, I don't frequent female fashion stores, but I have taken a look here and there.
He doesn't want to buy.
But when I walked in here, I could tell that these things just stand out. Even if I'm not a lady, but I can see what stands out about them. And it's so beautiful because all of that which you are talking about now builds up to what we see here today.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm quite proud of you.
Well, thank you.
For leading, for me, people like you, you lead a movement in society of other young women, young girls, or even young men who have dreams, who see themselves in the fashion space, who might not have a full understanding of the actual business of fashion. But you guys are there, showing them that it is actually possible.
True.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tshepo, you when Bongani started, he mentioned that the part of being inclusive and so forth. So in fashion, for some of us, right, who don't really design or anything, we just purchase and stuff. We get a lot of guys that are coming in to say, okay, I'm selling T-shirts, I'm selling blazers, as and when the mass produce stuff. So when we then try to understand what fashion designing is it limited to the clothing itself? Or is it there's a broader understanding of what fashion is and there's multiple players within it?
It is very broad. I've stressed that quite a lot. Fashion is very, very broad. You've heard me mention that being in fashion doesn't mean you have to be a designer. Earlier on I mentioned that even being a designer doesn't mean you have to have a brand.
Yes.
So our industry is very broad, and it bothers me that people don't have a great sense of appreciation about that, because there's been times where I feel like we're targeted as the main players as designers, whereas we're really not. There's so many people that I make use of that are part of this industry that are necessary, that I probably wouldn't be able to do this without them. We're talking textiles, we're talking media, we're talking people like stylists, we're talking industry people within, you saw a team in there. That side you're seeing about 5 job positions that are all highly specialized. Everybody who's out there is there to perform a specific function. We've got your cutter, we've got your presser, we've got a tailor. We can even, I've made use of a garment technologist who's the equivalent of a fashion designer, but she doesn't do the creative work. She's an engineer. We are engineers. So it's broad, our industry. And the only thing is to open it up.
Open it up, which is very good. Very, very good point that you're putting there. When you say open it up, I sometimes look at markets like your Nigeria, right? Where they strive on prints, right? And the other time I discovered that one of their thriving industries is textiles, which I don't really hear much about South Africa on that part. Is it a growing market, or is just a matter of it's overlooked? It's not going to grow, it's just there to just source and get out?
No, in fact, it's been there, it died, and now we're waking it up again. There's a lot of talks about that amongst us as designers, where, yes, we're tired of the imports, we want to make. In the past, when I started this brand, they made it so difficult. They would give us these crazy minimums, like, for us to make you your own fabric, you need to buy 10,000 meters, something like that, something silly. They made it very difficult. Only the big game players, like your commercial retailers, could afford to get into those kind of deals with mills. And because of them, making it so difficult, it grew stagnant. But some are now reawakening and say, actually, you know what, Tshepo, let's design a fabric. I can make you 2 meters if you want. You know, all I'm going to need is for you to pay for digitizing, and then we do the design together. They're making it more accessible. There's 2 around me already now that I'm trying to talk to. And for me, that's very important, you know, that they've opened themselves up to our small businesses. And now they're coming to our level where they're able to offer us something. And it speaks volumes. For me as a designer, that is incredible. It's something I've always wanted.
Maybe for the benefit of our viewers of this podcast, just maybe to differentiate the difference between the fashion industry and the textile industry.
Textile, when we talk about textile, we're talking about our medium as fashion designers. It's fabric. But then textile goes broad to a point where, I mean, you've got your furniture, you know, upholstery, anywhere where fabric is woven and, you know, treated and done in a bulk form.
Yeah.
That is what we would call the textile industry. It's actually, it should be more thriving than us, because you can just imagine, even BMW makes use of textiles for their seats and stuff. You know, furniture stores need textiles, protective wear needs textiles. It's not just fashion. You know, yes, it's a big game player for us, because I mean, how else would we make clothes without fabrics? But I think textile industry, it's got a lot to offer, you know, and new developments also for us as designers. We can venture into such things where we create, because I think you guys know now, a lot of designers, especially internationally, they're not restricted to just fashion anymore. Now they go into furniture, and then they start making fragrances. You know, you've got the House of Kenzo. They sell fruit. Yeah. The most beautiful A-grade grapefruit from Kenzo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it comes from the same soil. But it's fine. That's another.
No, but there's this like they handpick. Out of 10,000, they pick one, and they say this one is for Kenzo.
So you're saying very soon I might just wake up bedding Yasoba?
Yes. Yes. Or have curtains from Soba, or have fragrances.
Ray of sunshine.
Fragrances, lotions.
I hear all these things. There's no suit somewhere there.
She doesn't want to.
We're excluded, yeah.
You know, guys,
segregation.
Okay, let me tell you something. I actually specialized in menswear. I really loved menswear, and I tailored men's suits.
Yeah.
Like 100% fully tailored. I had a genuine. When I started soap, it was menswear. I started with menswear, and then I realized men don't buy very often. When was the last time you went shopping there? When was the last time you bought a suit? But let me tell you, women, first of all, our fashion is fast, it's nice, it's easy to make. It's much easier to make than menswear. Your clothes are very difficult. The only reason why I think menswear is even expensive is because you guys buy once every 10 years. You know, so if they're going to hit you once, they're going to hit you very hard. But generally, guys, I do love menswear. I was really, really good at it at one stage. But I realized that the buying patterns of men and women are not the same. Girls come here and they hide clothes from their husband in their boots every week. There's a dress every week. And also our trends change a lot quicker than men's. Men's trends don't change that much. Not unless you're, you know, LGBT.
Then I want to be there wherever. For us, we're just this one. It's a safe color.
We stay in one lane.
Finish and clap. And it makes sense because I mean, for us, I think for us as men, one item of mine can actually buy 3 items for a woman.
Yes.
Right? If I go right now, I decide that I want a sneaker or something, I'll probably buy a 7 grand sneaker. But take that 7 grand.
Give it to me.
Give it the whole wardrobe or even half of it is filled. Do you understand? So for us, I could understand that part. But at the same time, I think you actually made a very conscious decision in doing that because you realize that although some of the funds come from these ones, but they will not spend on their own. But if I target these ones, but make them aware that I'm available, then yeah, we are fine. I think you got us hooked on that point.
Yeah, if you want to make your woman happy, just come here and we'll find her a piece. And you're going to be forgiven.
Can we
So that's how I take your money. I
out?
take your money through the wife, through the daughter, through you're going to be hit in all pockets.
It's still my money that's coming.
Still my money. I want my money. But no, truth be told, I am interested in venturing back into menswear.
Yeah.
I just want to do it really, really slowly. Maybe just introducing some key pieces in my next showcase, maybe. You know, I still have a genuine love for menswear, the traditional menswear.
And speaking of showcasing, I saw that I think it was about 2 months ago, you went to, is it Abu Dhabi?
Yes, in Abu Dhabi.
Yes,
with the
Forbes.
AFI. Yes.
Yeah, man. We are within. If it's not SA Fashion Week, it's Abu Dhabi, Dubai. Yeah? Tell us more about that.
That sounds so scandalous, what you just said, mentioning AFI and SA Fashion Week. You know, that's a very deep one. You could get shocked talking all of this.
I reserve my comment.
The experience was amazing. I went there with AFI, which is our other fashion week.
Yeah.
You know, I was just invited, guys, you know, and I've done a few projects with them. And obviously I started gaining interest in them. They started gaining interest in me, and they're like, you know what, let's do this. The whole thing was like it was like Women's Day every day there.
Oh, yeah.
But it was only women from around the world, really powerful women.
Only women.
Only women. It was about women between the ages of, 30 and 50.
Okay.
You know, those are the years that were defined as,
Golden
you know,
years.
the years where you soar as a woman. That's where we make bold decisions, I think. Even as women, when we venture out into businesses, I was sitting there with, Tara Banks was there. So it's like anybody who's doing well.
Tara Banks,
Yeah, she did say, guys, she's 54, I think.
Hey, you
She
must
did say-
but you're a woman. You can tell other women's ages. It's fine.
No, she told us. She was very open. She was like, guys, I know I'm not, but I'm so glad I'm here. But, you know, hearing women share their journeys, powerful women who own networks, women who own digital banks, women who, a lot of them were American, but still very powerful women that had their testimony. So we were just sharing and, you know, networking and showcasing. There's nothing better than showing people what Africa is about, because I was chosen as one to represent South Africa. We had a group of designers from Egypt, Ghana, all over in Africa, you know, and big game players. So I look forward to such events because you can only grow from there, you know. Because sometimes it's not necessary to always be around fashion people, you know. There I was hanging out with, even Mr. Forbes himself. Yes, he's very fun. He's very fun, you know. But I loved it. I loved the experience. It's one of a kind.
And when you also on that experience, I'm sure it revitalized and revived your love for your business and for your passion to say, I'm in the right space.
Yes.
You know, how are you taking that passion or that fire that you took from Abu Dhabi and coming to South Africa and saying, you know what, I need this fire to expand into either whether my clothes or whether I'm having some other guys that I'm inspiring and so forth to say that these things are possible. So that passion, what do you plan to take and do with it?
Well, one of the first things I did, I finally got it right when I came back, was launch my website. I started thinking, you know what, I need these I need international money.
Yeah.
Because that's when you realize that, being in one country, I always advise traveling just for that reason. It can close you up. You're only thinking about,
true.
your immediate surroundings.
Yes.
Anytime I travel, especially most of the time I travel for work, anyway. Anytime I travel, that's the first thing I pick up over, hey, people are living, hey? Hey, Dubai, hey, it's nice out here. People are...
There's
wow,
no trip.
they say,
There's no trip that doesn't do that for you. It just opens you up.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's like I started feeling, one of the things I can say I wanted to do for myself or for the brand or for, was to grab a hold of that. I wanted the world to have access to me. I think when you're in South Africa, you're only thinking about your neighbor and you're thinking about the shop in mainland and whatever. But I realized that, geez, we've got so much to offer and people really do love what I do.
There is a demand for our culture, our who we are.
Our product, what we have to offer
Yes.
is needed out there. And that I won't lie, I forget that a lot.
Yeah.
But when somebody grabs you and wants your attention and points and says 1, 2, 3, 4, I need those dresses and I need this and I need that, and it changed my whole perspective about just being a South African-based designer. So I want the world to be able to access Soba. We're still working on that part, for the online, which is www.soberdesignhouse.com. Yeah.
But
We're still trying to
feel,
get international.
Yeah, but don't you feel quite lucky to be doing business at a time when e-commerce is quite a big part of how people do business and how people access products and services, and which also does exactly what you're talking about, breaks those limitations of your immediate space.
Yes.
And in an instant, you become a global business.
I feel very opportuned. Although now that I'm a serious game player at it, I've started realizing, where have I been? What have I been doing with my life? No, but you can see now there's all sorts of players. Now I'm seeing people who got these Instagram businesses, and I'm like, gosh, can you just give us space?
And that time when now you are producing, they are just being a transactional.
Transactional. 14,000 followers. I'm like, damn, girl. That's a lot of people's money. It's very daunting, but also I love it. It's a whole different game altogether. Because first of all, one of the things that our customer most appreciates about Soba is it's touching.
The feel.
It's the feel. It's the actual product in their hands or on their body. So selling online, it's very different because, you don't get to give the customer that full-on experience. It's a whole other game plan. It's how it's shot. It's what kind of model is wearing it and how your website maneuvers. Is it nice? 'Cause I've seen websites where it's like to download 40 pages and you'll never get shopping. So it's like all those things that have opened up my mind for, what, I need to up my game. I need to sell this gum. Because you have to realize now you probably could be in contact with somebody who's never seen Soba before.
Yes.
And they want to understand why that dress is 3.5.
Yes.
True. Now, how do you win that customer? So it's
true.
also having to work on product more also, being able to afford that first-time customer, that, not low price, but affordable priced item for them just to test drive and say, hey, this thing I like. Now I'm going to go back and see what else they've got.
But also, I think as well, from my understanding or from where I look at it, it would be easier or more effective for you to sell your culture that you have in terms of Soba than the actual design of the clothes. Because what you've now said to us is that your clients love the fabric, and the fabric is actually the culture. Do you understand? So now if somebody is able, because right now if I sit and I want to buy a Louis Vuitton, I'm not buying a Louis Vuitton, I'm buying a culture of Louis Vuitton.
Yes.
The other day,
The lifestyle.
The lifestyle. I mean, the other day,
brands are
Louis Vuitton
lifestyles.
went and did a design with the Shangan bag, right? And a few years before, Shangan bag was just a Shangan bag. You know, you put it at the back of a bakkie and all of those things. But now, Louis Vuitton does a Shangan bag, and I'm not thinking, oh, okay, Shangan bag has just been upgraded. But indirectly, what I'm viewing is that Louis Vuitton has brought their culture into the Shangan bag and brought it up to value, right? Which at the same time is what you are doing with your brand, to say, okay, anybody, Harriet can do the design, right? And whatsoever, but it is me that knows sober. I am sober, right? Which means that before the design of the clothes, people want to associate with you. So in the path that you're taking, whether there's people buying on Instagram and everything, make sure that every path that you go, you don't leave your culture behind of your business. Then in that way, it won't matter. Listen, people have money. There's nothing we say we can't afford. But if I'm aligned with that culture, trust you me, I am going to buy.
Like you said, I've created a community. You know, Sober is largely that. It's a community. It's people who think like-minded people.
Yes.
People who have the same values as me, who value what the brand has to offer, who can actually tell you qualitatively what they love about the brand. And look, I've been riding that wave ever since. And I guess in a way you'd call it a culture. I'm saying it's a lifestyle. It's a niche lifestyle. My customer is this intelligent woman. She's very well educated. She's well traveled. We like the same kind of things, you know, like places to hang out, things we do in our spare time. She's also very spiritual. You know, she's conscious of herself, her being. So when I'm around these women, that's why I was telling you earlier that we just click, you know, and I can sit in here with this crazy girl who's running around naked, trying on different dresses, and they also get overwhelmed when they come here because it's like a little secret closet.
Like, I want to try that one.
I want to try that one. I'm like, my friend, put your clothes back on. No, I can't put them on yet.
It must be.
I love this girl with all my heart. She represents me, actually. She's the type of girl I would really that's why I said some customers, you could swear we're friends, like old friends.
You're part of it. You're part of you, you're part of them.
Yes.
And then the nice part about it is it ends up in a transaction.
Yes!
Which is the nicer part.
But listen, you talk to this girl, she's so down to earth, she's conscious, she speaks, you know, nuggets of gold. These people are clever people. You get out of here, she's parked a Maserati. You know, but she is so
down to earth. You
wouldn't tell what she's parked this outside. You know, you'd automatically think, somebody who's going to get out of a car like that who works. I mean, I've had a client who was a rocket scientist.
Yeah, but so your clothes have been in.
No, I'm just trying to tell you the level at which they operate. They're very, very clever, witty women who can hold a conversation, who can hold down a boardroom, who I look at and I admire. So to be able to share my world and have our worlds both, you know, meeting, I think it's such a huge
must be
benefit.
Phenomenal.
It is very phenomenal. I love my customer, and they're all very pretty, very beautiful. Yeah.
They come standard.
Yeah. Default is pretty.
Tshepo, tell me, we had a conversation earlier about, you know, the boutique retail space and the mainstream retail business. What is it about mainstream fashion retailing that sort of, you know, doesn't do it for your type of brand?
You know what? I always say you don't knock something until you've tried it, and I did try it. Look, it afforded me a huge footprint because I think I was supplying Melrose Arch, Sandton, Midland, and those are big
malls. Yeah.
those are big malls. So that can't be a disadvantage. That's a huge opportunity right there. I think challenge-wise was also having to learn what a customer who walks in there, what they would appreciate to buy. First of all, they've got credit, ne?
Yeah.
She can wear it Saturday, bring it Monday.
Yes. Return.
It's a problem out there,
I don't quite like it. Take it back.
You know? Yeah, meantime it smells of a bottle of perfume. You can see this one.
It was worn.
It was worn. So those are one of the small things that kind of like icked me about it.
Yeah.
But also...
Do you feel that a part of the brand value offering is sort of diluted in that space a little bit more than it would be in the boutique space,
Definitely.
where the connection is a little more intimate than it is there?
True. Like I said, the foot traffic that goes into Edgar's is somebody who's trying to buy a vest for her children and a shirt for her husband, and then, there's a nice dress for 15 another, so it's very hard to justify a price point for the kind of product that we do in a space like that, because first of all, it's heavily branded.
Yes.
Your competition is right there and there and there and there and there. And look, I think we did it well. I had no regrets about it, but I do honestly feel boutiques offer a customer a more intimate approach with the product, the brand. It's not any girl who can just wear a sober dress or would see one and say, I want to wear it. You need that special person who's going to say, try this, and then, woo them into, obviously it's going to, your pocket is going to take a knock.
Transaction must end
Give her champagne, she'll buy it. But also I just believe that the surrounding, boutiques, they go to great lengths to make their stores beautiful, because they're also used to selling. I'm not the most expensive brand in there. I mean, I've done Luminance where I was right next to very expensive brands, but it's the quality of the feet, the quality of the customer and the experience, being able to offer them that experience. And that's where I think, also for me as a designer, I get really good feedback from a boutique owner. She can tell me, this dress, it's nice, but then, maybe the strap could be thicker because a lot of women are complaining about their bras showing. That kind of stuff is what has built this brand.
Feedback,
Feedback, and having that relationship with I've had boutiques that have closed down and the customers have managed to track me down and find me, saying, I've bought this. And she'll show me a piece. I'm like, whoa, that's so old. That's like 2012.
And they still love it.
They still love it. I've had 2 customers. One said, my house has been burgled. And I don't even know her. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. And it's like they took everything. But most importantly, they took my sober dress. I'll replace everything, but I need that dress.
Yeah.
And I've done that kind of work.
Then you had to go back to 2012.
Yeah.
And design that one. With the price of 2012?
No.
But
then let me tell you what, from there, she never really went back to the stores again. She only wants to buy.
She comes direct now.
Direct. So boutiques have that thing where the customer really does educate herself about you better. You're not them on their way from, passing by from the red square. If it's a perfume and then you just see a dress and you grab it and then there's a nice romper for my child and then, I say all in one.
All in one, yes.
So they afford the customer that experience and they get more intimate with the brand. They learn a lot more about even me, when I do things and and they'll say, "Oh, let's do a meet the designer."
Oh,
It
yeah.
always shocks me that people really want to meet me.
Oh, yes. Almost
You know?
like authors who
Yes.
go to exclusive books. And then you find people like, oh, okay, I didn't know.
Okay.
Okay. But I think coming to the point where you said we're talking about boutiques, it's I think to a certain degree you have this market that you have, and it's so consistent because there's always new entrants into it, right? Generally, everybody to some extent they end up educated, whether by book or by life. Right? Generally, we all aspire to have a good, stable income or financial wealth or freedom of some sort. And we also want to be in a space where we are understood, right? Maybe where I want to go to in 2 years' time, right now I do not appeal. But knowing that there is a brand that will accommodate, that is aligned to my future aspirations, is quite great.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's where you've placed Sober to say, you know what, the door is open. You know, we are with you to get to that journey, and even when you sit on that journey, we'll still be with you. You know, it makes a world of a difference, because I remember the first time these retailers, the mega retailers, I don't know who it belongs to now, I think it's Truett or not, what YDE, you know, it provided that little bit of commercialized boutique.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I think some of the clothes that I had, that I bought at YDE, I still have them. You know, unlike the ones I bought at Troet or whatnot, 5 washes, you're out. But these ones, they're still there. And that's the value, and you learn the value of buying something from not a mass produce.
Yes.
You're like, oh, okay, boutique.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to spend, but I'm going to spend every month.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend this much. December, but then when I was every day.
Not every day. I mean, I'm not gonna kill you. I know you would die. No. I understand what you mean. Yes, it did offer that YDE in its time.
In its time, yes. In its time. In its time.
Let's
Very, yeah, not now.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it now, but okay.
I also haven't seen it around.
Is it still around?
It is.
I remember
it is.
one, there was one in
But it's
Eastgate.
changed.
It's changed. Oh.
It's changed.
Do they still do standalones though?
Yeah, you still have those brands inside there, the designer brands inside there. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm seeing the same fabric in every single rail.
Yeah, that's the thing.
you
That's
know?
why I stopped as well.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this thing is similar.
You know, then it gets a little bit boring, because I think the designers in there are not having that distinct, like that cut, that edge anymore. Differentiation. Now it's starting to look like a department store.
Yeah, true. Because I could move from, and I know they're very good with this summer wear, whatnot. I'll go from a very light cotton. Like, okay, if I don't take this one, come on.
Sometimes it looks the same, eh? They just have different labels on it. I don't know how they achieve that.
Yes,
what did they do to these designers? Do they live together in one house, maybe a big brother house? You know, that's where I've started really thinking twice. I don't designers. I don't like this, because I won't even name a brand. I don't even know the brand's name, to be honest.
That's why we named the house.
Yeah, the house. I feel like something has happened that doesn't afford those designers the differentiation. When they hang their clothes, it must look different on the other designers' stuff. It don't look like they're sharing fabric. Sometimes it looks like they're literally sharing fabric.
Or maybe their house just buys that 10,000 meters and say, hey, share it amongst yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Then you can design.
Yeah.
We see you.
Tshepo, educate me here. So we all know of the fake and counterfeit goods market that can actually cripple a fashion business. I don't know if you guys have been affected by it.
I have been.
If you have been, how have you survived it?
Sure. It was 2000 and... What year was that? It was 2014. Very painful year. 2015. Something like that. Very painful year, where I found direct copies of my clothes. it was very daunting because, first of all, I have this reputation with my client. It doesn't only hurt you, it hurts your customer too.
Yes,
You know, for her having paid 2,000, 3,000 for a dress and then see it for 350. You know, very, very painful. It's brutal what these people do. But how I survived it is putting in more work, my signature. You can copy everything.
That
you
is
do.
important.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't copy a signature.
Yeah.
Some of the work that we do in our clothes, it's so intense. I think Chinese people look at it and they just think, oh, whatever.
A lot of work here.
Next. They need something easy. It's a king. It's a so more edit this, edit that. I had to just like really immerse myself into my signature more. Make it that distinct enough for anybody who tries. And also it's about educating your customer.
The customer base, yeah.
You know, it was
yeah.
very encouraging when a customer called me and said, I saw a knockoff of your dress.
So they told you they saw it?
Yes.
Jeez.
And you can imagine I'm also supplying boutiques that are carrying this. And then on top of that, I was in Edgar's.
Oh.
So people start returning.
Those.
Because go Crown Mines.
Something.
It hurt me really badly that season, but I learned certain pointers. There's even in terms of sourcing, how I source. You know, there's a way of sourcing things in such a way that it's exclusive and it's authentic to the brand. It really speaks of us, because you can copy a shosho dress, right?
Yeah.
Or a print dress, but what is the easiest thing to copy about it? The shosho.
The shosho part, yeah.
So you do away with all those things. You do away with anything that is overly available in the market. You know, I would hate to see a customer all of a sudden bumping into my dress and say, hey, I've got this fabric.
Oh, yes.
You know?
True.
So you source exclusively also.
Yes.
And that's how only way I could have survived it was just to make these people work harder. And you must understand, when these people do this, they obviously they come into a country, and let's say for the sake of the conversation, it's a Chinese person. They're very highly into fashion. They know all this industry in and out. What are they going to look for? The most popularized designs to knock off. You know, and the moment I started fearing this, going traditional print, because then you become, hey, let's
now the
copy that.
target.
You become the target.
You become the target.
Yeah, so sometimes it's about how you source and put in the work.
Which also then brings us back to the part where we were talking earlier about the efforts that you guys are doing to make sure that you revive the textile industry, you know, because at that backdrop, the success thereof of that safeguards the path to success for you guys, right?
Yes.
Because if you now having to, how can I say, make the textiling boutiqued to a certain degree, that you don't have to buy it for 10,000 meters.
Yes.
Let me make it for you for these particular meters.
Yes.
I already know I've done it for you. That's fine. You can then continue. But if you buy mass of that, there's no chance that he only did that mass only.
Yeah, there is that part.
Yeah.
But you can only trust and hope
And
that
hope, too.
your relationship with the people, because I won't lie, my suppliers, I have relationships with them. I know them by name. They know me. They know my child. They know me, you know. But it's not just a random person a once off. I will know, you know. But there's nothing you can do to prevent such things.
Leakage in the system.
You know, like I said, sometimes it's just having a better relationship also with your buyer. You know, with your customer.
Yes,
Them knowing the brand intimately enough to want to support you, because I don't see for any odd reason why a girl would want to spend 2,500 instead of 250, unless this is Tshepo's thing.
Keep a step.
I'm not going to do that to her because they know they are supporting me. They're supporting this business.
Also, they would know the quality.
Yes, they do.
Those fine, small details about your product, which they probably wouldn't find on that 250 dress or item, which would end up just feeling like any other dress they bought. So even if they go there, I'm sure they would come back.
Yeah, and hence I'm saying, even on social media, me interacting and them knowing what soba is, that it's actually a structure. It's people that are working. It's affording people jobs. It's doing this. It's keeping this person alive. It's not easy to just take food out of my mouth. Okay. I don't know. I guess the ones that did it don't know much about the brand. But the ones that would call me painstakingly, say, how could they do that to you? I know how hard you work. I know that place. And it's lives here. They're messing with people's lives. And I really took it hard. But, some people will say it's a compliment.
There's nothing compliment when you're not getting the benefits of it. It's nothing. And I think to a certain degree, the fact of knowing that every other week there's a container coming in from China, it's a constant reminder that, hey, son, I better make sure that in that container there's nothing, it is a replica of mine. And that's not how you want to go through as a fashion designer or a producer of fashion in that sense. Well, it's easier for the guys that help you with the fashion week. They design the tee, and that's that. You don't find a tee at China Mall because nobody's taking it at home. But then for you guys, it pains you that deep, because at the same time, you offering me your dress for 3,000 rands. That's fair and fine, but you're fighting for my 3,000 rands, and then that guy is coming in at 300 rands. And
undercut.
And at that time I'm saying, man, I'm doing an evening event, man. So there's no sunshine whatsoever. And 300, I'll buy it once, I've saved 2,070 out. Well, I understand. But at the same time, that's also a bit of a problem as well. And also a study that showed that clothing, it's better when you're moving towards clothing that is long-lasting.
Yes.
Because if you buy clothes, these wear it once and leave it at that, it's also environmentally it's not right.
We were talking about that earlier with him, about carbon footprint, being ethical.
True.
Ethical, that's one of the things we've been pushing, because some people, it's easy for a person to say, but I'm paying people real proper salaries here. It's not a sweatshop where I've locked in I don't have children working for me. There's certain things about being ethical and things that have even helped this business to survive that I stand by. The values that I have. And it's not just like we were talking, it's not even that easy to just CMT some of the stuff we do. There's things that we do here that are
done here.
They started here. They are only we do it. Methods, of engineering and putting the garment together. Where have you seen KFC sell the sprinkle chicken thing? Come on.
But anyhow, guys, since we're talking about chickens and stuff, we are happy that we're seeing a lot of people subscribing to the page, and looking forward to having more of you guys coming in when we decode this entrepreneurship. So a bit of housekeeping. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, and click on that bell on the notification button so that we continue to provide you such great content, you see. So, on content part.
Guys, you forgot something. Please share this podcast with all your friends. Share with everyone. You've got to get us out there. Guys, Tshepo, tell me, as a fashion professional, We all know that, clothes that are worn by South African people, on them, in their closets, in their cabinets, a very small percentage of that is produced on home soil. A lot of imports are coming into the country, and this is, and I know you're not in the mainstream retail business, but, how is it impacting your business at your level?
In terms of imports, the country, I think you remember in 2006, there was a point where they cut off imports.
Okay.
It didn't work because then people would take them via Vietnam.
You're just creating so many other things.
They go through Ghana and then they come down in a truck and then on a crocodile. So I think in terms of what the government has tried to do, they tried, shame. But also we have this thing, man. Guys, I cannot stress enough that poverty is real, guys. Not everybody needs a 2,000 rand dress.
That's so true.
And it's very hard to compete with the Chinese prices, import prices sometimes. Sometimes I'll see a dress and I'll buy it, and it's an import. Sorry. It's an import.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, shucks, that's fabric money. If I had to make this dress, the fabric, at that price, I would only cover the fabric. And then there's all these things and the labor. And, man, glue. Or how did they do this?
And it's only stitch. Stitch.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think that every segment has its people. Every market segment.
Yeah.
I cannot lie, I don't wear soba every single day.
Yes.
I do a little young Mr. Price.
You've got to.
Because at the end of the day, if I had to make everything I wear, oh my God.
Gabe, you are the biggest customer to
but I would need somewhere to go every day because you can tell my girl dresses up. We dress up.
There's an event for every outfit.
So the influx of imports, it's there, it's real, but I think it's income. It's income oriented. It's because people would walk out with more clothes from China City than in Eastgate.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's a
but
sad reality.
Don't we have the capacity
funny enough,
produce, at those price points?
No.
Is it a labor issue? What's the problem?
It's a lot of issues. First of all, our labor laws are quite strict in this country.
Okay.
But like I said, it's funny you're asking me this because part of my job when I was in corporate was I was overseeing one of the biggest plants in the country, manufacturing plants that was owned by the company I was working for.
Okay.
But they were suffering. The buyers internally would rather go to China than buy from them. And not for obvious reasons. Pricing.
Yeah, pricing, yes.
China ke kgona go thola t-shirt ya 15 rand ha ke re ke a e zama mo Durban mo at this plant ba ntjwetsa ka 45
rands, yeah.
And that's a big difference.
That's a big difference, yeah.
So we have not been able to compete, unfortunately. So, but for a lot of reasons, these people are so advanced. They machinery. And they work ethic. They work day and night.
Day and night, yeah. We knock off guys. After 6 key plus overtime.
Overtime, yeah.
Little strike, we take to the streets now.
Yeah.
We want increment.
Yeah.
20,000. What was that amount? 20,000 basic pay.
Yeah.
American and never 12,500.
Yeah.
But didn't it go up to 20?
No. At that time, now it's on 20 and 16 and so forth.
Jeez.
So it's things like that that are holding us back.
But it makes sense. Look, I mean, what we want as Africans, right, to a certain degree, which is what we faced with, because as much as you're an employer, to a certain degree, when you deal with your suppliers and stuff, you are at their mercy as well. Do you understand? So that's why, as much as I might be an employee, but to some I might be an employer, we dabble between, if I pay them right, I don't get to produce enough because the markup is not right, right? But if I underpay them, the markup would be right, but I face fatigue and exhaustion in the business, right? And then I face government and loss, right? And I face government and all those things, right? And your staff turnover is going to be ridiculous.
Turnovers.
It's going to be very ridiculous. So now, that's why the Constitution is great and the labor laws are great for people that do not want to work hard in a country that does not want to mass produce, right? But the problem is we can't survive on that theory.
No, we can't.
How do we find balance?
How do we change the narrative?
How do we find that balance, right? Maybe one of them would be, how does government preach patriotism in terms of our own products, and also gives enough people job opportunities to afford to apply that patriotism to those products, right? It's impossible for the government to go and fund Tshepo and give her 10 million rands to open up 10 boutiques and stuff, but at the same time, the customers that she's expecting to have don't have the jobs.
They don't have the money.
You know, don't have 2,000 rands for a dress.
Yeah.
So it's counterproductive, right? So now we need to find that balance. And unfortunately, that's why we voted for them there, so that they come up with ideas. We're not going to do their job for them. But as a strike-prone country, we will strike.
The people shall govern.
The people shall govern. You know? The people shall govern, Mshana, you know?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think we're making strides in our industry. We ourselves. I mean, one of the funniest things that I don't know if anybody ever would tell you. Yo, pandemic.
Oh, coffee.
Do you remember everybody was selling masks? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I'm
everybody
sure
was
selling masks.
Yeah, no, I had a connection.
You see?
PPE was nice. I could even do a design.
Guys, now I sold alcohol. I sold alcohol.
That whole mask thing was meant to keep our industry alive. Now I got a neighbor upstairs, all of a sudden she's sewing masks. I'm like, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Roger, what are we to do?
Yeah.
You know, so, but that was a short stint. It's not the same thing, I understand.
Yeah.
I just remembered when everybody learned how to make a mask. Because it had to be the fabric ones.
The fabric ones, and then it was, I know, Mchana, you can take from the clothing, let's say, those hoops one that you can disposable, whatnot. Because you're sitting like, hi, but
sometimes what I'm trying to say is that sometimes opportunity doesn't land in the right hands. You know? So not like government.
The government.
You know what I'm talking about.
True.
The
It's 500 billion.
They sometimes and those whatever rescue, whatever loans that they were trying to give us, well, you know, we had a completely different idea. When I saw it, it's like, this is a loan. They want their money by September.
Why would you sign up for that?
Why? You know, when I read it, I was like, okay, never mind, next plan. Oh, okay.
But the COVID period must have taught you a lot about yourself as an entrepreneur in this business, your business and its resilience as a brand.
Yes.
And I'm sure if we were to ever have another pandemic in our lifetime like that one, you know, you would probably look at it quite differently than you did the last one.
Yeah, maybe this time I'll just take a sabbatical. Yeah, I think as well for the fact that your clothing, it's event-driven clothing, and when events were closed, there was nothing no dress-ups.
Yes. No, but there was a whole vibe about, hey, we must make loungewear. You know, guys, we were desperate. We didn't know what to do.
Thinking out the box.
Yeah.
About that pajama.
Yeah. People work from home now. It went there. But I liked part of the teachings. You know, it was the first time I actually started realizing our brands a lifestyle brand.
Yes.
Fine. You know, I have a friend who started doing bedding.
Okay.
You know, and very nice bedding. I was so impressed. And then one who started going into like George sleepwear. I started realizing that, oh, okay, this can work. It's just that obviously it's impromptu. It happened out of nowhere. We were never ready.
It just rocked up on us.
It just rocked up. But I was very lucky. I'll count myself very lucky. One of my best buyers, a store owner, boutique owner.
Yeah.
First time where they kind of lifted off one of the levels where shops could open. The first conversation, she said, "Please don't fall for it. Please, we still need your clothes the way they are. Please don't make me a hoodie. I do not want to see that
We want you exactly how you are.
We want you exactly how you are. If it hadn't been for her, I think I was already starting to think, yo. Yeah. Seriously, it's funny now. I consider that.
We can laugh now. We can afford to laugh.
Laugh, you know, because I was about to go there, just like, do not go there. And then she took out her phone and showed me pictures of loungewear, what we mean. Can you compete with that? And I was like, okay, never mind.
Again.
Yeah.
But now you mentioned again, you're part of the alumni, and I understand that you're part of the directorate for what not
the
advisory board. So I would see it as something to say that you're now giving back the skills that you have and the knowledge that you have. How has that journey been for you and the recipients thereof?
It's been quite a beautiful journey. You know, it's been so fulfilling, you know, to have a young lady update me about their lives. You know, hey, I tried this, I tried that. Hey, look what I'm making now. Hey, you know, like I almost take them as my children, you know, because these people were mentored by me. But let me first go into the advisory board, the main reason why I was invited into the advisory board.
Yeah.
As alumni, obviously, I studied there, and they see me doing whatever I'm doing out there. Eventually, there came a need where they needed to align the syllabus in such a way that Tshepo, what is it that you've learned out there that we didn't provide you throughout your studies?
Yes, yeah.
And that is a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot. I was like, damn, we're going to start all over. First of all, scrap first year and kill that subject. We don't need it, you know. One of those things. But it didn't go, you know, but there's ways you can advise. Well, guys, how do we make our students industry ready like you went in?
True.
And I would tell them my challenges, you know, talking to lecturers and, you know, I would tell them my challenges. So, you know, I don't feel I was adequately skilled, equipped to do one, to do two, to do three. Like, for instance, I told you earlier, now I'm an employer.
Yeah.
You know, nothing could have prepared me for that, especially when somebody's trying to sue you.
They could have put HR or labor relations.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's the work we're doing. We're refining the syllabus in such a way that it's more meaningful to the students and it prepares them better when they go out there. Because it's very sad for me to see a fellow classmate, you know, from fashion department stuck in some mundane job because I didn't make it. So now, give a call center guy.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a lot. They've also picked up. We've also tracked and picked up that. Okay, out of all your graduates, how many did you start with? How many did you end with? Why? What is it that is happening? Is it financial? Is it this? Is it because are they failing? What's going on? And then out of the ones that came out that year, for as far as we can track, are they still part of this industry, or did they just go to Australia?
Yeah, down under.
You get those examples, a lot of those. So part of what I'm doing is to give these young designers that something to look forward to, so that it, also to make sure that this is not all intimidating to them.
Would you say there is now a general understanding that the designer in the business, who is the inspiration for the product that is produced, and the entrepreneur who sort of oversees the business of fashion are two different people, and they need to find a way to coexist or co-manage this, what comes out maybe as a brand, as a fashion brand?
Yeah, you touched on something very deep there. It's true, what you just said, it is two different people.
Yeah.
It is very true. I found myself torn a lot. Luckily, my support system is very helpful in that sense.
Okay.
It's a tough one, because as much as I agree with you, I'm not the best example. I'm still running this. I do everything.
But I guess you're involved in this program because you have also realized that I need a different type of Tshepo to do certain things.
Yes,
and not the Tshepo that was just a designer when you started,
Yeah, and I feel like the designer is the freedom.
Yeah.
That is the freedom I get to, and so I hold it very dear to me. I'm like so about it. Fine, I'm your boss, but I want to be creative. I really love the question that you posed, because yes, I do feel that you need a different set of skills to run a business and to be a creative.
Yes.
To be honest, I would still choose the creative side, and I want to get paid this time.
Mara, if you get somebody else at mine, it lessens the pay.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're the brainchild, if you're the founder, if you are the everything, you're the one who's going to take the knocks. You're going to pay everybody except for yourself sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it comes with.
But I think my solution to that is, I think I mentioned to you, to upskill.
Yeah,
upskill.
I have someone here who I feel she's been here with us for such a long time.
Okay.
And I see her spirit. Oh, that girl is strong, And she came in. I remember she wanted like a domestic job, But then I started seeing how quickly she picks up on things. And there's nothing wrong with me and my whole tons of textbook knowledge to not impart
on the
And I'm very passionate about what I'm doing with her, because it's not like work integrated learning with students and an intern. She's not an intern. She's just somebody who's been around me, watched me enough to know a lot about the business. And I've realized that I've infused myself in this girl. That she knows exactly what I'm thinking, when I'm thinking it. So why not do the split right there? I want to empower her as an apprentice to have the skill set to run this place alone.
Yeah. And when you look at the young people or the students that you guys are involved with at TUT, and with your understanding of the industry as a whole, would you say that, I'm an entrepreneur. Business opportunities come from problems.
Yes.
Would you say that we have enough problems for young fashionistas or, people who are interested in fashion? Do we have enough problems for them to solve in this industry?
I don't know. I think we can create some.
Okay.
Spoken like a capitalist.
Like a true one.
Disorganized in order to organize.
Yeah, that kind of. No, but geez, guys, there is so much room for real raw talent. Real. Okay, not, I'm going to just try this and see what's going to bucket list. No.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's so much room for any young designers, as long as it's not about necessarily having problems. It's about having a vision.
Okay.
You know, if your vision is strong enough so that you can produce a product that cannot be found anywhere else, you're in the business. There's your problem solved. You know, as long as you're distinct enough, if you want to do exactly what I'm doing. Otherwise, go into the industry and find your spot. I have so many friends who studied fashion design, a whole chunk of a course, and they don't want to make clothes.
Yeah.
They want to style people. They don't want to. They don't want to run a production plant. They want to be buyers for retailers. They want, you know. So there's a place for everyone in this industry, and it's about getting in and just getting involved. You'll find that, shucks, you know, I don't even really like being around fabrics.
Yeah.
You know, I actually want to be
at the event.
Yes.
I just want to be at the event.
I want to be at the event and direct a fashion show.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. And
You
you're
know?
still in the fashion
And
business.
you're still in the fashion business.
But at point of entry, when they enter the business, do you find that their interests are similar, or you know, are channeled towards a similar direction? Most of new entrants or young people that come into the industry.
Do I find that their interests are similar to whose? To mine?
No, not necessarily to you, to yours. But I'm saying, do you find that most of them would be interested in more design? Some of them would be more interested in this. So what interest sort of, you know, cuts across at point of entry?
Sure. It's so. The last group I got, it was so diverse. You know, most of them, there's this now catchphrase, I want to be a buyer, you know.
So that's where more of the interest is developing. Okay.
You know, they want to be office jobs. They want office jobs. And I think most of them mainly is because sewing was kicking their ass. Hard labor. But no, I'm not making, I'm just making fun of them there. But they and also I think, guys, it's not everybody who's meant to be self-employed.
Yeah.
It's not for every entrepreneurship. It's not for everyone.
That's a different ball game.
You know, it's not everybody. There's. I mean, if we all had to be entrepreneurs, I wouldn't have this place running while I sit here and laugh away with you guys. There'd be no dresses.
Yeah,
so,
true.
I find that the general consensus. Also, it's resources. Mutasa, when they come here, they start looking at machinery. One of the things that I realized a lot of designers are afraid of is numbers. It's okay to make that one customer happy, but to make 50 dresses, oh my God, make sure they're all of standard quality. Make sure that I'm having access to do quality control myself. Things like that. It just depends, because some designers would rather just focus on a bespoke and do customers, individual customers, and I understand why. But I find that a lot of designers that come out now, they want more clean jobs. Not where there's threads and machines, oil, pattern. They're not all of them are interested. They want those kind of jobs. The office. They want aircon.
They want artificial intelligence.
They want to do things from a distance.
Virtual reality.
They want work from home.
But given an opportunity to maybe highlight an area of your business that is often overlooked, which you could maybe consider to be lucrative, or a money maker to look out for in the future, where would you reroute or redirect them? If someone were to say, hey, my interest is, this clean jobs, this office corporate, you know so much more about the business. So is there an area which you feel is overlooked and is going to be,
where the money is?
Yeah.
Within fashion.
Within fashion, yeah.
Where's the bag in fashion?
You did say you did trends at some stage.
Trends
Yeah.
analysis.
Trends analysis, right?
But that's, the bag is such a broad term sometimes. I don't know if the bag is a salary or the bag is a business.
The bag is an opportunity, and then the money is a result of you holding the bag and doing what needs to be done on the bag. You know?
It's a very interesting question because I'm having a look at my daughter and I can see she has an affinity into the industry, but I don't feel like she necessarily needs to do what I'm doing. There's guys, right now there's careers that haven't even been invented yet. And I'm looking forward to that. I think digital media is doing the most right now in terms of fashion. I think we saw even during the pandemic there was because we couldn't hold fashion shows.
Yeah.
And
do the virtual stuff, yes.
The virtuals, but then also there was a girl who did an animated one where the clothes looked like they were being worn and going down the ramp. I feel like digital media for the fashion space could be the next place to go because look, I mean, having a fashion show is fine. You're going to have these people sitting in one arena. What about people in New York? Don't you think that they? Yes, of course you can videoize it and or whatever, but it gets so expensive to run such events. Partaking in Fashion Week is expensive, guys. And I'm not putting anybody on blast. I love you. But hey, it's expensive. I wish people could find cheaper methods to showcase clothing.
There's what's the name? I think the future in terms of showcasing and platforms for people to meet, marketplace is moving towards metaverse, right? So similar to what you were saying, that there was a girl that had clothes virtually, whatnot. So it's allowing people to physically be here, but be elsewhere.
Yes.
Remember, it was that time where they started trying it with the VR games, where you put it in there and then you go and shoot and whatever. So it's moving towards that to be a marketplace in that spot. So that's why I think that when we look at, like you mentioning your daughter, I think take that passion, link it to where well, we can still call it industrial revolution, where it's heading to.
She loves that word.
You know, so we're on the fourth one.
I mean, imagine if you could put your clothes onto a portal and then it runs a show for you.
Yes.
That would be great. And now people can actually, I mean, you walk into some of the stores in Asia, the top countries in Asia, whereby you walk into the store, you look at an item, it fits it for you.
Yes.
Right? So you have to look and say, okay, this is how it would fit. Okay, good, I'm buying it. Cool, great stuff.
You know?
You understand? But now, the idea around it is, how do you bring that home?
Eesh, I do not
That's
have
where
that
the
skill
books-
set.
that's where the
books. I mean, right now children are doing robotics and things like that. You know,
Someone will figure it out.
Somebody will figure it out.
it out.
And you
You
know-
wanted to be your daughter part of the buyers that figured it out.
Yes, because she does do robotics, and I feel like there should be a nice link there where we can showcase our clothing across the world without the fussy bits, the lights, the cameras, the models, the makeup.
But you're so right. I think the world is moving in that direction.
True.
And it's definitely things that we do need to consider. In terms of getting it to actually, become market-ready solutions, I think we can depend on our
The
kids
future
for that.
generation, eh?
Yeah, the future is here. It's you. That's why I'm saying Abu Dhabi.
Hey.
But now, just before we close, I just wanted to find out from you in terms of it being a Women's Month, right? Have you realized or have you found that there's many male buyers that are buying your clothes for their wives?
Men aren't brave enough to make such decisions. It's just about, can my wife come?
Oh.
Or let me go show her.
Yeah. I'll take a pic. I'll show her.
So has there been an influx of wives coming?
No, these women, Ampokotos, they're doing it themselves. They get the bag. They don't need no man to buy them anything. No, there's special amounts of events. Look, the women, men, it's not uncommon, by the way, what you're saying. I've had friends who say, I want to spoil my wife. Can I bring her through? Let her pick whatever she wants. I mean, wearing soba is a spoil. It's luxury, So, but for Women's Month, no, it's just been a whole lot of events and having to attend and give people a little talk or whatever. Also, women just being networking, being around them.
And do you think, do we still need to put women in a place where, or refer to women, them being successful, giving them the association to saying imbogodo? I feel, and I've seen as well on social media, a lot of people are moving towards, because remember, the whole term of imbogodo means how you can outstand all the trials and tribulations and all the sorts.
Yes.
And I feel to a certain degree that one should not be defined by the hardships they've gone through, and you should be a woman because you are a woman, not because how many times Bongani has hurt you.
I like what you're saying.
I don't hurt people, by the way.
You know what? I like what you're saying because I've read somewhere try to not dress like your problems, and I think Soba encapsulates that completely. We know women go through a lot. And I believe that a woman, as soon as, you put on, not even just a woman, in general, when you're dressed up nice, you feel nice inside, don't you?
Correct, yeah.
So I believe that's what our brand does. It's like an alter ego. When you take it off, go back to your problems, girl, drink your wine. But
when you get sober, be sober.
But when you step out there, nobody's going to tell you nothing. Don't look like your problems.
Yes, true.
Yeah, something like that. So I love what you said now because it is really true. The Mpokotos are women that are going through all sorts of challenges. Every woman has got challenges. And I'm sure you men do too sometimes, whatever. But
thank you for acknowledging us. We go through a lot.
But you guys fell out.
So when we say visit, please do visit.
Before we close, tell us, as a fashion entrepreneur, how do you fail?
How do you fail?
Yes.
You fail when you don't accept criticism. It's a very big deal. If you're going to be sensitive in this industry, you're going to get hurt. I mean, I can walk into a shop where the customers don't know I'm the designer. Yeah, 4,000.
And you just keep quiet.
I'm like, this industry requires a very thick skin. I mean, it even goes as far as even Fashion Week, when you having the models before the show try on the collection. Literally, the CEO of Fashion Week will be there to say, that's rubbish. What is that? Take that off. No, don't show that. She can say such things,
And now, Khali, you've been working on this design for long.
Not that one. And then not in a bad way. She's like a mentor. She'll say, it's not as strong as your other pieces. This one is going to weaken the lot. Take it away. Or it's not cohesive enough as a collection. Critique is what makes you. So I think if you can't accept critique, you're not going to get very far. Because critique doesn't always have to be verbal. It's as good as you going to a store, consignment, and say, here's my collection, can I put it in your store, I'll pay rail space and whatever. Critique is when you come back and that rail is full.
That's also critique.
That is critique. hits you in the pocket.
Yeah.
I always say, as a designer, if you want to know how good you are, take a mannequin, not even one of these fancy ones, just a plain one like that.
Yeah.
Put it in the middle of, let's say, a court in a mall. Put your dress on it, walk away. Go sit somewhere. And if you don't come back with people lined up saying, where can I find this?
Who put this in this
Yeah,
one?
where, I want
What's
this.
the story?
Yeah, because you cannot always be an advocate for your clothes. You can't do that.
That's a great way to measure. Huh?
Yes, you cannot. Your clothes must speak for themselves. It must that dress must make somebody look at the window, walk in, take out their monies, fit it, do whatever, without you saying, "Try it, come on." Explain. And I think a lot of designers get hooked on that because it's self. You know, ufila good, ufila motho mo one. But it's a 10 geribon.
Yeah.
Come back and there's 9. Then what does that tell you? That is critique. That is you knowing if you got it or not. And if you can't accept it or do something about it, be better at it. Then you're dead. You're as good as dead.
That's your failure right there.
DED. Dead ski. Dead ski. Beetlejuice.
All right, so you know what? Thank you so much for giving us time to come and have a chat with you in your lovely closet.
Thank you.
At some point, we have to come out of the closet.
Mara, Chief, we can't go here. We must tell the people that the fit is nice, the quality. So maybe we must fit something today.
The people
Guys,
won't
show it. Won't show it.
Good luck with that.
We don't need to be critiquing it.
Oh, gosh.
You know. But yeah, Tshepo, man, you've built quite a great production line here, and it's one to wonder and say, you know what, such clothing, one must be part of it somehow. Unfortunately for us as men, we can't be part of the people that wear it, but we might be men that want to have our women wear it, you know, so which is quite a great thing to touch on different genres and genders, which all results in a sale. So I'm hoping that this platform as well, you know, it inspires a lot of guys to try and invest more and apply themselves more into the trade as well. And I'd like to see even some of the guys probably reach out to you, whether by transaction or by either form, you know,
would be nice.
Because this is business.
It is.
We prefer by transaction.
Yeah, by transaction. Yeah.
We like that.
If it's declining, you can DM us. We'll
Yes, you can DM us and then we'll talk.
Yeah. So
but otherwise, www.soberdesignhouse.com. It's a brand new website. We've worked on a new collection. It's going to be nice and fresh.
It's beautiful, by the way. It's
summer's
beautiful.
coming
I'm so
up.
excited about this collection. And we're about to now shoot it and launch it on the on our website. Right now, our winter season is on sale. So go in and have a look. SoberDesignHouse.com. On the Instagram, it's also Sober Design House.
Yeah.
Facebook, Sober Design House. We do supply some few outlets. For that kind of information, please go into our page and follow us because there's different boutiques all the time.
Yeah.
And I do highlight a piece because boutiques don't buy the whole collection. So they'll buy one there, two there, and whatever. But we are everywhere, and especially on our website. That's what I'm punting.
Asomblief Duman. www.soberdesignhouse.co.za.
.com.
Communication international.
Yes.
Yes. What's the dollars now?
I need them.
No.
And you know what's nice about this website is that a number of pieces are sold out.
Oh, I know. I feel so bad.
Okay.
I feel so bad.
Here I was going to.
But I'm also glad the support has been amazing.
Yes.
Thank you to my Sober
It says a lot
tribe.
about the support that you guys are getting.
Thank you so much to our Sober tribe.
Yeah.
I mean, they know how they've been getting hold of my product, and it's only better when you come direct.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to work on it becoming more and more exclusive, so you really need to look out for that. There will be an exclusive website collection.
Yeah.
And obviously you can keep going to your trusty stores where you buy like Icon and Salvation and House of Elegance and Guesters and
And a lot.
yeah. And that's a lot of actually we've touched on every province. And Nelspruit we have Jola. Very excited about the next collection. So for my peeps, just remember the website.
Asomblief, guys. Asomblief. Yeah, for the guys at home, please do comment, like, and share, and subscribe to the podcast. And do follow us on all our social media handles, which are the same handle, which will be at Khoola Biz. We're looking forward to engaging with you and having more conversations like these.
Yeah,
and do follow us, please. Till next time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.